But this is the new map now.
9B is probably, I guess, about 40 minutes north of me now.
And it's quite interesting, especially to those of you that had your zone changed. And what would your advice be, Orlando Gardner, to people that their zone has changed?
And so I would encourage people to, just get a couple of plants. Don't go out and go crazy.
Some trees will die if there's a freeze too long and too much. We're going to be talking about the new hardiness zone because this map has changed, and since they've been keeping track of it for a really long time, it's changed over the years. The last time they actually made a change was 2012. Hello everybody, here we are in South Florida, zone 10B, and it is right now November and we're having a cold front. The weather is quite cold this week here for this area. For other areas in the country, this is very warm right now, but for us it's on the cooler side. And it's very interesting to know that it can be hot here in the wintertime or warmer, but be snowstorm somewhere else in the country. And this is interesting on several levels, but when you're growing foods, it's important to have an idea of what zone you're in so you can know what food can grow there successfully. So if you try to plant food in your zone that isn't part of your zone, you're not going to have much success growing these things. So there's a chart called the Hardiness Zone Chart, and it shows what zone your particular zip code or your area is in. I'll put a link below this video to that zone. But the interesting thing is when they officially started using it, because they were unofficially using it for much longer, but when they officially started using this type of chart, it was in 1951, I believe. And every maybe 10 or 20 years or so, they update the chart. And that's what this video is about. And it's quite interesting, especially to those of you that had your zone change. So one of the zones, if you're growing tropical fruit trees, is in South Florida. Again, I'm in 10B, but I was in the area of 10A and 10B. So now it's definitely 10B. But if you go up a little bit more north to Orlando, which is Central Florida, they've traditionally been in 9B. And with this new update, they've moved to 10A. So now if you're in that area in Central Florida, you might be able to get away with growing some fruit trees like star apple, maybe even mamey, who knows, that traditionally couldn't grow in that area according to this chart. Now it's not exact. What they do is they look at the extreme temperatures of the low or high amounts, and they kind of get this. But what they've done is they went around and they checked all the weather stations, not all, but in the old chart in 2012 was around a little under 8,000 or around 7,500 weather stations. But now they've went all the way up to 14,000 weather stations where they've checked, and they've been checking for the last 20 years or so, their temperatures, or the last 10 years or so. They've been checking their temperatures, and that's how they come up with the chart for the new zone, the new growing zone. It can change, it will change, but for a while I think it'll stay like this. But I wanted to have on the video today a fellow who's growing mangoes who I visited in South Florida, well, in Central Florida. His name is Kevin, goes by the Orlando Gardner, and he lives in Orlando, and he's growing in pots. And I've always followed his channel and love like what he talks about, but sometimes he gets freezes, and some trees will die if there's a freeze too long and too much. So I was wondering how he's going to take this change different, what he's going to do different, if anything. So we're going to interview Kevin right now. His name's Orlando Gardner. That's his channel on YouTube. And we're going to talk to him about what's happening with this change. And you also comment below what's happening in your zone with these changes. And I'm going to talk to other people I know who are in Sarasota, because on the west coast of Florida, the zone has supposedly changed as well. Maybe I'll get some of them on here now or in the future. And it's an exciting time. So from that growing standpoint, it's exciting, especially if you're in those areas where your zone changed. Now there's other implications of this this change, because the warmer weather is going to lead, or traditionally will lead to, more storms and more hurricanes. So that's an important thing to keep and understand, because another reason to keep your trees smaller or shorter, because if a hurricane comes and your trees are shorter, there's a better chance they'll survive. So it's even more imperative, if we're going to have more storms, to do your best to keep the trees shorter. So keep that in mind. So this will affect you even if you're not in one of these zones that are changing. Once the weather is going to change and be a little warmer in places, it's going to affect situations like that. So consider that. And if you're in colder zones up in the middle of the United States and so on, you might not be growing trees. Maybe you are growing some trees that we don't really talk about on this channel, which is more tropical trees. But if you're growing trees, but also vegetables, you want to look at the chart and see how they're changing as well. And I'm also going to put a link below to the updated chart. You can put your zip code and see what your current zone is. I don't. Hopefully you knew traditionally where you were at and you could see if you changed. I don't have the old chart, but you could put your zip code in for this new chart and see where you're at now. And here we go. So here is Kevin and from Orlando Gardner, and we're going to talk to him now. Everybody, here we are with, this is Kevin, the Orlando Gardener. He's up in Orlando. Kevin, Orlando Gardner, you are right in a place where what typically all this time that you've been growing, what zone have you been in?
9B.
9B. And for those of you that don't know Orlando Gardner, I've had him on the show before. I went out to visit his property. He's the man to growing all this things in pots, the mangoes in pots, and so many things. I'll put a link to the video I did with him. 9B, and he was growing with great success all these mangoes. And I woke up one morning and I saw a video from him or a post from him with so much joy saying, "Did you see the new zone chart?" So are you still in 9B?
No, I'm not. According to the stats, after this change and all the data and the information has come in, I'm now 10A. 10A. Would you believe that, Paul?
Amazing.
This is such a shocker. I mean, I've gone back to do a little history to see have it ever been like this, and this is very new. This is very new.
So, from your experience over the last maybe 5 years or so, did you really think you were in 10A? Like, did the weather say, well, it's just similar here to that is down where Paul is? Or was it like you getting some freezes? Did it happen less over the last couple of years? Did you notice a difference until this chart came out? Would you have noticed a difference?
I have, Paul. Normally up this way, we get a freeze once every 10 years, 10 to 20 years. But I've noticed a tradition here over the last 5 years of us getting a freeze every year. And it happens, is consistently, we get 2 days of extremely cold weather. So that gave me reason to put my ears up and in the wind to kind of check things out, because things had drastically changed. You know, normally we don't get 20s. We don't get 20s in Orlando. But that inspired me to look, and now we know why. Climate change. Things have changed. And this is very different now. Very different. Yes, sir.
And not only is it going to affect people like you that are going to get more warmer hours now, possibly, but those people that are growing stuff near you that need those chill hours, it might affect them in a more negative way. So it's going to hit both sides of it. But you're growing, excited about growing tropical fruit and you're growing mangoes there. Are you excited now to try something else that maybe in the past you were like, oh, that won't grow in this zone?
I am. I'm up at the batter's cage with Abiyu. One of the fruit that you like all the time, the star apple. I hear you comment in different times about that. I'm excited about that as well, because it's been known in the past, you try to grow a star apple up here and then you're gonna have a real problem really quick. So I'm really excited about that. Every time I see you talk about one, I'm like, oh man, I wish we could have them up here. And also, I'm really ready to swing the bat at soursop. You know, I have, believe it or not, Brother Paul, I have come across a few people that has successfully grown soursop up here. And I'm excited to find that spot, that sweet spot on the yard. And what I'm looking to do is maybe put some gauges in different parts of the yard to find that sweet spot so I can try soursop as well.
Well,
Yes, but I'm excited. I'm excited, and it's
that's so exciting.
mm,
Soursop is actually in
mm,
season now down here, and I've been eating them every day. And forgive me,
oh
I gotta send you the
goodness.
seeds. I should be sending you the seeds because you can grow the seedlings, and then it's a good testing ground for you. So I still got some left. I pulled a big one off today, so
Sure.
I'll send you the seeds if you're interested in those, so you can start.
I hope you get a video. I want to see
Yeah, yes.
it.
And so I wonder if my May will grow there now. My May is one man.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's worth a try. Now, when you
Yeah.
say you got a lot of freezes the last couple of years, like if the weather's getting warmer, I know it's the extreme that they're measuring where they're coming up with this idea, but one freeze could wipe out everything for you, right?
Hmm.
So it's real tricky. And
Yeah, it is. It is. But that freeze, Paul, is only 2 days. 2 days last year, 2 days year before that, 2 days year before that. But we have experienced that warmer weather that we get when we go come down your way. This year was definitely different. We could feel it. It was very strange for us to walk outside and feel as though we were in West Palm Beach.
wow.
Very different, very different. So I can see the 10A.
Well,
I can feel it too.
we're about 2.5 hours from each other, so we're gonna keep in touch and see and how things are going. But the sad part of this is I don't want to be bring a damper to things here, but with the warmer weather, typically brings more hurricanes and severe storms. So that's something we got to keep an eye on as well. And this is one of the reasons I recommend is another great
Yeah.
reason to keep our trees on the shorter side because if a storm does come and we don't let our trees grow too
Mhm.
tall, we'll have less damage from storms on the trees. So keep that in mind, everyone. But this is really exciting. So uh, what about your friends that live near
Yeah.
you? Are they thinking about now that with this new news of changing things up and growing star apple and other things, or are they just gonna do they not believe it and they're just gonna keep growing what they're growing?
From what I hear in the wind and just talking with fellow gardeners, everybody just want to ride the wave for a little bit, kind of see, you know, um, nobody's really ready to jump out there because this hobby, this habit it can get expensive. And so, just listening, Paul, nobody want to really jump out there and get into the real deep tropical things right now. I think everybody, since it's changed, everybody's kind of just watching right now. Gonna watch, see what happens with the trees that they do have now, and see if production changes. Whether up or down. Yeah, but everybody's just pretty much watching to see.
And
Nobody's really talking about going out on the limb.
now
Hmm.
the line that changed near you from 9B to 10A, where did that go up to? Like, were you deep into 9B before, and now you're just on the line, or were you on the line of 9B? Like, how far up is the 10A going past you? Are you just on the border now, or are you deep in it now?
9B is probably, I guess, about 40 minutes north of me now. I'm looking at the shape now, the shape of the new zone, and it's so odd. It's an odd shape. It's very odd. I don't know if you actually looked at
I
it.
have a
You
map.
know.
I'm gonna let's screenshot this here while we talk about this. I'm gonna screenshot this map. Okay, so here we go. This is the new map. Can you see it on
Yeah.
your screen there, Kevin?
Oh yeah, I see it. I
Okay,
see
so this
it.
is the website, and I'll post the website link below. But this is the new map now, and we're gonna come zoom here in on Florida. And again, for other places around the country, if you're growing vegetables and stuff, it's important to note this. So this is Florida, and
Yep.
here we see the links here between 9A, 10A, 10B,
Mm-hmm.
and now look at this. Some areas, I don't know if this was on the old map or not, but look over here. Some areas are actually reaching a zone 11. So
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
so I'd be interesting if some areas, if that's new or if it's always like that. But look at Puerto Rico. Wow.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
I have friends in Puerto Rico and they're growing durian there. And Puerto Rico's like that's
Wow.
amazing. So
Wow.
so yeah, so
Yeah.
let's talk about where you are now. So you were in 9B and now you're in
Yeah.
10A. So where you're about the map, you're about, would you say
Right up in
right
there.
around here?
Yeah, and see how oddly shaped that. It's
It
like it's
is really odd.
freestanding. Yeah, yeah, but that's me now.
So some
Yeah.
areas below you, like over here, some areas they're still getting 9B, but up here, all the
Mhm.
way up here, where's this up? This is pretty high up there. They're in 10A now.
Yeah, yeah. And
And then
that's amazing.
then on the west coast here, look at that, how high up it goes. We're looking at
Mhm.
Tampa being in 10A. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
That is,
here's some on the west coast. This is, I guess, this would be the Fort Myers, Naples area, and they're looking at 10B. Well, that's going to be exciting for them. Sarasota
yeah.
area, wow. And so yeah, and then we could see here all of Florida, except here up in the Panhandle now, is still
Nine. Yeah,
in 8B.
yeah.
So that's pretty amazing. So that's the new map, everybody. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and it swings in and it even catches Kissimmee and Osceola County down there, a portion of it anyway. A
Yeah, and
portion of Osceola County is 10A now as well.
yeah, and the way you use this map, everybody, is you just come up here and you put in your zip code. So what's your zip code?
32805.
So 32805. And there it is. It tells you the hardness zone. So did you ever believe that? You would see 10A. There it
Yeah,
is.
that is so strange.
And so we see here 30 to 35. So
Mm-hmm.
very seldom, I mean, if ever, you'll get in freezing. It's that's the lowest it's going to get, but not even 10A doesn't get that low. And
And that's
they've changed it to
good.
10A.
I'm glad 'cause I don't want those 20s. I
Yeah.
don't want 20s kill mango trees. I don't people inbox me and call me and text me all the time and ask me what am I doing when it's in the 40s. I say, I'm sitting in the house drinking tea. I'm not worried about 30s and 40s. But 20s is what scare me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's
those are
just,
beautiful numbers, Paul. That's beautiful.
yeah. I know you want to take a screenshot and tape it on top of your computer and see that. That's
Yeah,
great. Well, that's
yeah.
wonderful. Then here's where I am down here is
Okay.
look at those beautiful numbers.
Woo, woo. Grow, 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 and go.
And then
Mm.
we go down to and it never gets that low here. I mean, the lowest I've seen here is maybe low 50s or upper 40s
Hmm.
one day out of the year, maybe. But
Yeah,
then yeah, so I don't know the zip code down south more, but we're gonna have to maybe contact our friends over in Sarasota and
yeah,
Punta Gorda and see how they're doing with this new map. But everybody, there it is. That's the new map. And that's the website. I'll post a link below. And again, if you're growing vegetables and if you're in one of these other areas up north and you're growing vegetables, things are going to change.
yep,
I don't know to what degree. For some of you, it might not change at all. But if you're right on the line, you're going to notice some differences. I just saw a video with somebody in Colorado that was talking about across the street. He said he's not changing in his area, but he's
right.
noticed a couple of blocks away that they are changing. And he helped actually make this map. So that's
Oh,
pretty cool.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this exciting
Yeah.
news, and what would your advice be, Orlando Gardner, to people that their zone has changed? What would your advice be? Would you tell them to slow down? Would you tell them to hurry up and go buy some stuff? What would your advice be? And what are you going to do?
Well, like I said, I'm excited about it. I just so happen to be a person I like stability and consistency, but oddly enough, I like change as well. This is one of the reasons why me and the Potts do so well. We're family. But I wouldn't encourage anybody to rush out and spend any big money. But I would encourage those to just maybe get a two or three little pots and maybe try something, and find that sweet spot on the yard, on the property, where it will be fairly consistent, and just give it a try. One of the things I love about gardening is it's still a lot of trial and error, and what works for one yard might not work for another, and then some things do work. So we and I that's one of the things, honestly, Paul, I love about your channel, because we're traveling on a journey with you. The things you like, you don't like, your changes you make, you know dealing with the 20 feet apart, then how you trim your trees, no, all it's fun, it's light, you know. And so I would encourage people to, get a couple of plants. Don't go out and go crazy. I don't care what zeal bring out. Don't go out, don't go out and go too crazy, but just try a little bit, and we'll kind of see, where it goes from there.
Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting. So we're going to see what's happening with the weather, but I wanted
Yeah,
to show everyone this with the map and let everybody know that these changes have been made. So just
yeah,
contact your local nursery and seeing what they're seeing or noticing there, and
mhm,
seeing what you can what you can do. And I thank you for coming on and sharing this with us. And you're an
yeah,
exciting part of the country that's experiencing the difference. You're going to see it more than most people that are growing tropical fruit trees. And
yeah.
so we look forward for updates from you.
Okay, well, you most certainly will get them, and you have a permanent. You and your family have a permanent invite to the Orlando Gardeners property.
Thank you. I'm going to put your link below the video. Everybody, check it out, and it's going to be great. Check out his YouTube channel and all the stuff he's growing and the updates that he's coming on. And all right, that was Orlando Gardner. I love his channel. I love that guy, and great, exciting times for him. And like I said, if you are in a zone that change, what's your new plans? Do you have new plans? What are you going to be doing different? And thank you for watching this video. I wanted to get it out there. Again, some of you think it might not matter to you because your zone's not changing, but it will matter, because whenever the weather changes and the patterns change like this, things change, and things change. Whether it's more storms, more floods, more drought, things always change. So consider the changes and what they're going to mean for you on in terms of what's going to happen. It's not only I'm in a different zone. So consider that when you're planting, where you're planting, what you're planting, and keep planting. All right. All right. And thank you again, Orlando Gardner. Check out his channel. Links below. The link is below to that map and as well. And thank you all for watching, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Please share this with others. And if you have a place where you're growing fruit trees and you'd like me to come on out and feature on a channel, my contact information below. I'd love to get in touch with you and try to get out there. Until then, everybody, thanks for watching. Have a great day and keep growing.